Hey, what's going on? I'm Terence Sams. Listen, I am going to give you 7 habits that you need to release in order to change your life. But before I do, make sure you shoot down and hit that subscribe button for more content. Are you ready? Let's go! Hey, what's going on? I'm Terence Sams. Listen, there comes a moment in life when the weight that we've been carrying begins to feel unbearable. Like past failures, unspoken pains, the regrets, the need to control every outcome, all of those things become heavy. It becomes a burden that keeps us from moving forward. But today, I want to invite you into the new season, this next season, the season for you. I'm talking about the season of release, because release is power. When we release what no longer serves us, we create space for new beginnings, for fresh joy, for a deeper sense of purpose. Like some of us really been praying for a change, hoping for growth, expecting a breakthrough, but our hands are too full of yesterday's pain to receive today's blessings. So I'm telling you, it's time to let go, right? It's time to release. If you want to transform your life, then I'm telling you, you must cultivate the art of release. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to talk about 7 powerful habits that will unlock your freedom, that will heal your heart and propel you towards your destiny. Are you ready? Okay. Habit number 1, release the need for perfection. Perfection is a prison. It tells you that no matter what, you're never enough. That no matter how hard you try, there's always something missing. But here's the truth. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. It's about progress. Progress is your true power. That's where your power lies. So I'm saying stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting for the perfect opportunity, the perfect conditions. Start where you are, with what you have. I'm telling you to trust that you are enough. I read this little plaque, and that said, some people will pray for a cake, and when God gives them flour and the eggs and butter and milk, all of the ingredients, they get frustrated because they don't see the cake. Everything you need is inside of you. You're already perfect the way you are. God gave you everything. So it's telling you, it's not about trying to produce perfection. It's about progress. Your growth is more valuable than your perfection. So I was thinking, what if the thing that's keeping you from your breakthrough isn't a lack of effort? What if the thing that's keeping you from your breakthrough is not the fact that you refuse to hustle, or if you're procrastinating? What if it's not that? What if the thing that's keeping you from what you really desire is the obsession with getting everything perfect? What I'm saying is, it's time to stop striving for perfection and focus on progress. Release perfection. Embrace progress. Habit number 2, release the weight of unforgiveness. Unforgiveness is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to suffer. It keeps you locked in a past moment, like replaying pain and over and over and over again. But forgiveness? Forgiveness is freedom. It doesn't mean what happened is okay. No, it doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean that that person was right or they were justified. It actually means that you refuse to let their actions control your future. Let go of the pain other people caused. It's like the book in the Bible. Joseph actually had to forgive his brothers. Read the story in Genesis 50. Verses 15 to 25, Joseph's life was filled with betrayal and disappointment. His own brothers threw him into a pit and sold him into slavery. He was falsely accused and sent to prison for something he did not do. Yet, through it all, God was positioning him for a greater purpose. So years later, When Joseph became second in command in Egypt, his brothers came begging for food, and Joseph actually had a choice. He had to decide, would he hold on to resentment or would he release them in forgiveness? So instead of seeking revenge, he actually could have sought revenge, but instead of doing that, Joseph actually told his brothers, you intended to harm me, but God intended it for good, to accomplish what is now being done, and that is saving many lives. What I'm saying is, some of us are still holding on to the wounds of the past, unaware that the very thing that's hurting us is the same thing that God is using to prepare us for our future. So, forgiveness is not about excusing what they did. Please get that. It's not. It's about freeing yourself from the chains of bitterness. Release resentment and make room for healing. So before we go on to number 3, who do you need to forgive today? Maybe it's a friend, a family member, a leader who disappointed you, or maybe it's yourself. I'm challenging you to let yourself off the hook. Who do you need to forgive? Take that step. Number 3, release the fear of change. Oh man, change is uncomfortable. It pushes us out of our familiar place, out of our comfort zone, and it forces us into the unknown. But the problem is, our minds don't like change. Like, one of the primary functions of our mind is to keep us safe. So anything that seems harmful or dangerous or risky, our minds resist. Anything unknown or unfamiliar actually appears to our mind as harmful or risky. So it will remind you of maybe the last time we walked into an uncomfortable situation, or the last time we stepped into unknown territory. And it will point out to you all the reasons why you shouldn't move forward. But let me tell you something. Nothing great happens in your comfort zone. Nothing great. Imagine waking up one day and hearing God tell you, go from your country, move from your people, your father's household, and the land I will show you. Like, no roadmap, no final destination, no details, just faith. That's what Abraham had to do. Abraham had to release everything familiar, his homeland, his traditions, even his family, all to step into the promises of God. And because of his obedience, Abraham became the father of many nations. So I like to ask this question, like, what if the things you are afraid to leave behind is the very thing blocking your next blessing? What if? Look, if you always do what you've always done, you will always get what you've always gotten. Look, fear of change can keep you from your blessings. So we have to be able to release that fear of change. Number 4, release the need for approval. Like, how much of your life has been spent trying to please people who never truly see you? How many dreams have you buried because of what others might think? I remember growing up, I have 6 brothers and 7 sisters. And I always had a strong desire to speak, to inspire, to motivate, to step out in front. But I was afraid to do it. I was afraid. I remember the first time getting in front of my family and trying to inspire them, and I began to stutter. And they would laugh at me and make fun and crack jokes. And that stayed with me. And so when I would have the desire to stand in front of people, I would have negative self-talk. It would remind me of the time that I tried, but I failed. Or I tried and they laughed. And it put me in a very bad position. But then one day I said, you know what? I don't need their permission to be who God created me to be. And that's the same for you. You don't need anyone's permission to be who God created you to be. Your purpose is too great. Your assignment is too important. Your calling is too powerful to be in the hands of people who don't hold your destiny. What I'm saying is let go of the need of validation. You're already chosen. You're already anointed. You're already enough. All right? Number 5, the mighty number 5. Release the lies you tell yourself. Oh, this is good. Because the enemy's greatest weapon is deception. Remember my story? Like I really wanted to speak. But when I would step out, I would hear, you're not good enough. That's what I would tell myself. You're not smart enough. You're not successful enough. You're not worthy of the love and the support. And all those things begin to shape my reality. But I say, you know what? I will no longer let negative self-talk silence my dream. And I'm telling you, don't let negative self-talk silence your dream. It's a lie. It's time to break the cycle. You are powerful. You are capable. You are destined for greatness. So stop agreeing with the lies, because those lies are keeping you small. Replace them with God's truth about you. And what is God's truth about you? You are fearfully and wonderfully made. You are more than a conqueror. You are loved beyond measure. You are powerful. Number 6, release the grudge against your past. Like some of us, we're fighting battles that ended years ago, right? We're wrestling with the old version of ourselves, punishing ourselves for the mistakes that no longer defines us. The woman at the well in the Bible, in John 4, this woman had a broken past, 5 failed marriages, a reputation that made others reject her, right? But when she met Jesus, he didn't condemn her. Instead, he offered her living water, a chance at a new beginning. Here's what I need you to grab. Your past is a chapter, not the whole book. No, your mistakes do not define you. Listen to me closely. Your past is a chapter, not the entire book. Stop carrying the shame of yesterday. God has already redeemed you. Your past cannot disqualify you from your future, from the future that God has for you. Step into the grace. Step into your power. Number 7, release the need for control. This is the most powerful release of all, because the truth is, we were never meant to carry all of that. Some of us are exhausted, not because we lack strength, but because we refuse to surrender. You're trying to fix everything. You're trying to force it and figure all of this stuff out that we were never meant to try to control. There's a serenity prayer that says, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. We have to have the wisdom to know the difference. But listen, when you let go, God steps in. So release the need to have all the answers. Release the anxiety of trying to make everything work. Surrender it to the hands of the one who holds the universe. He already made a way for you. So we have to shift. It's time to shift. The power, there's so much power in release, and it's not just about letting go. It's about making room for peace, making room for purpose, making room for the abundant life that's waiting on the other side. So let me ask you, and you can put it down in the chat because I would love to hear from you. Which one of these habits do you need to release today? Is it the need for perfection? Do you need to release unforgiveness? What about the fear of change? Or do you need to release the need for approval, the need for validation? Or what about the lies, the negative self-talk that we actually tell ourselves? Do you need to let that go? What about the grudges of our past? Or do you need to release the need, the desire for control? Whatever it is, whatever it is. Look, I want you to declare right now, I choose to release blank. I want you to type that in the chat. Let me know what you choose to release. I choose to release blank, whether that's the need of perfection. I choose to release the fear of change. I choose to release the need of control. But all of it, never forget, is a choice. It's in your hands. Look, I'm Terence Sams. I hope